Hello. What's going on,
Whoa.
yo?
Hello, hello. Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Yep, yep, yep.
Yeah, I can hear you, man.
Okay, here, give me 1 second. I have to use the restroom. I didn't expect you to call me immediately.
Nah, man, you're good. I'm just chilling.
Okay, be right back. Okay, so I wanted to ask some questions.
Yeah, let's go. What do you got for me, man?
Give me 1 second.
We were going over what was it, the shooting, I think was what we were last kind of
Yeah,
talking
some of the
about.
shooting stuff, but I wanted to ask some other, like, particular questions before.
Yeah.
So where do you lay at politically, I guess? Because I saw the
Me, I,
title, but I wasn't sure. Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I try not to lean too right. I used to be like really democratic when I was younger growing up, but as times changed, I've kind of changed my beliefs with what's been going on, and I would say I'm more right leaning nowadays, but I try not to be so full into the rhetoric to where I'm like completely blinded by everything, but just like completely right. I try to be understanding of what's going on the other side as well. So more of like a middle ground leaning right, right?
Okay. Um,
That makes sense.
Was it like a counterculture thing that wanted, or that made you want to shift more to the right, or do you have
I
like any?
just feel like things kind of more aligned with me with how like radicalized some of the left ideas we're getting. Uh Mainly just how the hypocrisy of things, how like if something were to be like let's like the what is it? Like just to talk about one thing that I think is a bigger issue is the Epstein files. Like
Hmm.
things like that. Like things like that should be more of what piss people off or make them want to like go out and protest or like all the embezzlement of money. And I understand how things like immigration can be more of a something that you see more of. Like, okay, now you see ICE agents on the street. Now that's something that you want to go politically like be activist about. Like, I'm gonna be an activist for this because I can actually do something. So I just didn't really believe in all that shit. Like, I don't want to go fight federal agents. Like, that's what people voted for. Like, I'm not gonna be someone. I'm not gonna be the force of the resistance. I guess is what people think they are doing. I guess right now. So
Okay.
I'm just not that like radical. I'm not radicalized like that.
Okay. So there's a couple things you had brought up. There was the embezzlement. I think was
Yeah.
a specific.
Just
Um,
money just being siphoned out of the country. I think problems like that, like even this administration is probably going to be doing that we don't pay attention to. And it's like I care about deeper issues than just like the hot topics of the moment, right?
okay. What would be like a deeper issue that you would consider to be more to be less
Just like
of a hot topic, but
mo-
more like important?
like the money going out of the country constantly, like through this fund or that fund or giving money to this country or that country, like, and then we find out with like the Doge stuff. Like I said, I'm not so into all of it, but just seeing some of the things come out, all this money was being embezzled, given to this fund, and just disappeared. The rail in California spent all this time and money, and there's nothing to show for it. And like, why don't people like care about stuff like that? Because that's what's really affecting a lot of other things. It's just like trickle effect type of shit. We might not see it, but that's why, maybe the prices are more expensive somewhere, or why gas is more expensive for things, because we're just not like fucking paying attention to the real problems. And we're just getting distracted by what's the hot topic here. So next year. Next year's gonna be something else. When it was COVID, everyone cared about COVID. But like there was a lot of deeper things that were going on with COVID that no one cared about, you know? So it's like I feel like there's a lot of other things that people tend to ignore because it's just not the hot topic or something that's in their face.
Okay. Does it concern you at all that if one of your major concerns that isn't like a current hot topic issue is the embezzlement of money, funds going out of the country and everything, etc., does it bother you at all that the current administration and current president of the United States is probably more guilty of that than anyone else in the
Oh yeah,
history of
no,
this?
that's yeah, and like I said, I'm not gonna be someone who's Trump's the best. Fuck, dude, Trump's a piece of shit too. Like we know this, but that's politics.
Well,
All
I
of
would say
them
that
are
he's
pieces
like
of shit. Like
exceedingly like
yeah,
more worse than any
I
other
would agree,
president in the United States history, and more
and
guilty of
I
your
would not,
concerns than anyone that is
and I
on
wouldn't,
the left, right?
and yeah, like, I would not disagree with you. I wouldn't say Trump's better than anyone else. I would just say there's so many other issues that we could be protesting for and like making a big deal about that's been going on forever. Like I feel like the administrations are all just puppets. Like, oh yeah, the right one, so everyone cares about this guy. But last year was the left, and it was still the same. Like, I don't know. Like, yeah, Trump's a piece of shit. I agree.
Well, like not just a piece of shit is what I would say. I'd say he's probably like incredibly selfish, borderline evil, with the level of like blatant disregard that he has for his people. And I think that he exceeds the standards of like frustration and outrage that I hear you have for the left, but I don't see it really being applied. Like if you're shifting from the left because of these considerations, and then you're going to the right because of that, then I don't see what value the right really has in terms of that.
Okay, so I mean, if I were to like just specifically start talking about what I don't like about the left, I mean, there's a lot of I don't want to really like be so fucking, oh, it's these rights things that they want to fight about because, like, okay, so the left is radicalized so much that they want to push on, all these stuff on their children, the transitioning stuff. Like I don't agree with that, and that's something that the left really pride themselves on.
When you say the left,
Yes,
can you give like a
Democratic
as like a vibe check? What portion of the Democratic Party would you say is in favor of transgender surgeries for minors?
So what portion of the left? I would say maybe at least 50%.
And this is the
At
Democrat
least.
Party, is what you're.
I would say at least, yeah. I would say at least 50% of the Democratic Party is in support of all of that. Would you not agree?
No, I think you're
So you think they don't agree?
overestimating it by a massive amount.
So
Yeah.
you think so less. So
Yeah.
the left. So Democratic people don't support that. If you're a regular Democratic person, you wouldn't agree with that.
Yeah, I would say the average Democrat doesn't really agree with that. No.
Okay. Okay. That's a more broader view than what I see, because usually whenever I see anyone who's a liberal, they're like trans rights, gay rights, all that stuff, and it's like, okay, that's not what I align myself with. So that I could say that's probably one big thing that pushed me more right
With
than
LGBT stuff like gay
yeah, the
rights,
LGBT
trans
stuff,
rights.
all that kind of. I mean, and for me, I'm not against gay rights. I just think when you start pushing trans rights into the classroom and start making that like part of your political party, I don't agree at all. So I mean,
In
we
what
can
way do you
argue
feel like
that.
it's been part of the political party? Like what mainstream Democrat can you
Just
even point to that has
I
policies
mean,
related to any of this?
Obama. I mean, I feel like all of these people. And Obama was probably the start of it all, like, right? He was more leaning towards gay marriage, and not to say I was against it, but that
Well, I think
opened up the
initially he was
doorway.
like against it. I think Joe Biden was the one that kind of got
Yeah,
the gay
that's what
marriage
I'm
through.
saying. Like, yeah, yeah. So Obama kind of started to where like being gay rights, all that was the more positive thing, and it started coming more mainstream. And then when Joe Biden came into office, then it
No,
became
I'm
so
saying that when Joe Biden
radicalized.
was vice president with
Yeah,
Obama, I'm pretty sure he was the one that was mostly advocating for the passage of gay marriage. I
Joe
could be
Biden
wrong on
was.
that. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he was more.
I'm not. I have no idea. I just know from my experience, just growing up in it, and I was pretty much like liberal or democratic around those times. I liked Obama. I liked all that shit, and then slowly over time, things started to like change. I guess in the Democratic Party to where that became a big issue or a big thing that it was like, all right, we're on the left and we're supporting this and we want this to be. I just felt like that became such a big part of the party that I just couldn't take it anymore, because when you start trying to push that ideology on people, it's like a religious belief. Like, sure, you could be in support of that, but some people just do not agree and will never agree with that.
Yeah, is
And
it
I'm one
possible
of those.
that rather than seeing these people in the way that you like say that you have, that it's also possible that the people that you listen to or observe now or whatever else are saying that this is a larger extent than it
I mean, of
really
course,
is?
it could be just like propaganda, just like anything else. Wherever you get your news from, it's going to be the world for you. So
Okay.
I understand that perspective.
Yeah, so I guess the reason I'm bringing that up is that it feels like when I'm making criticisms against the mainstream Republican Party and the current administration, that I feel like I have like endless people that I can choose from that reside within the government structure at the moment and are like the top officials for some of these agencies that are doing like the most insane shit. I feel like I have so many options that I can like pick and choose from, but it feels like for the opposite side, whenever like trans stuff is brought up or critical race theory or abortion or whatever else, like
Yeah,
the
yeah,
people that are pointed to are typically going to be like the very far left, like Twitter leftists. But I never see people that are a part of like the mainstream Democrat coalition advocate for any of these things.
I mean, you can't act like Joe Biden didn't advocate for this stuff though.
What did he advocate for?
For what is it? For children, he wanted the rights for children to have this process done.
I don't
I
think
can't really.
that I mean, we can. I'm totally fine with looking up
I
like whatever.
I guarantee we could find a video of him like saying something about it being he wants that to be okay. I remember watching shit and just like taking a step back and being like, there's no fucking way that the president is talking about this shit. Like there's definitely a video we could pull up of him being pro transitioning for kids.
Okay, if
And I thought
there
that was gross.
if there's like a stance or policy or anything against it, would that change your mind as to like whether or not Biden was in support of that?
What do you mean?
Like you're saying that you think it's disgusting that that Joe Biden would advocate for transitional surgeries for minors.
Yeah.
Like if the opposite was like demonstrated or shown or whatever else, like would that change your perspective as to how prevalent of an issue like this sort of thing is?
Like if the Democratic Party did that or like
I'm saying if there is evidence showing that Joe Biden was not for these surgeries
okay,
for
if
children.
there is evidence showing that Joe, okay, so I guess if there was evidence, then it would prove what I am saying is wrong, right? And then I wasn't believing the truth of the matter. But I can swear I could pull up something I think right now if I try.
Okay, yeah, I'm totally fine looking at whatever you have. Or
Let me see. Gender affirming care is what it's called, right?
that's like a more broad thing than like particular surgeries. So I don't know if
but
that's
the
what you're talking
broadness
about.
of it is, I think it's kind of like okay, Joe Biden has consistently expressed support for gender affirming care. I just need like a video. Response to directive targeting. Yeah, I mean, like, there's just countless of videos of him being at least in support of it. Let me see. I can pull this one up. I just have horrible connection right now because I'm streaming and then my buddy's playing games too, so I don't know if anything's gonna want to load.
You're good. Like here, I have an article. It looks like it's a pro-LGBT like organization or whatever, and I can link this in Discord to our DMs in Discord. We can go through something like this or whatever. It's talking about the White House's opposition to gender-affirming surgery.
Is that in the Biden administration?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I just have this one video pulled up. I don't know exactly what it's going to be about, but it says Biden to transgender youth, just be you. So this video is him in support of, you know, that type of shit. I don't know if you want to watch it or not, but
Yeah, I'm turning up your audio right now.
hold on, let me pull it up again.
Yeah, I'm turning up your audio right now.
Pull it up again.
MAGA agenda attacking families and our freedoms. 300 discriminatory bills introduced in states across this country. In Texas, knocking on front doors to harass and investigate parents who are raising transgender children. In Florida, going after Mickey Mouse, for God's sake. That's straight close to home. No, but think about this. All of you in this room know better than anyone that these attacks are real and consequential for real families. My message to all the young people, just be you. You are loved. You are heard. You are understood. You do belong. And I want you to know that as your president, all of us on this stage
See? I
have
mean,
your back.
Is that not
Today,
like
I'm about to sign an executive order.
Is that not he's like basically saying like he wants that to happen.
No,
And he's
I
the
don't see that
president
anywhere.
speaking about
I
it.
don't see that anywhere
What do
here.
you mean? He's like, just be you. We're gonna have your back. What else would that mean?
Like supporting people by
Yeah, but he's talking about gender affirming care. He's talking.
no, he's talking about them in
we're gonna-
general, right?
I mean, but that's.
Like he's saying like, hey,
I'm
you guys
gonna
are understood. You guys are. No, he's not saying we're gonna affirm like your gender identity. He's saying you guys are understood. Like I understand that you guys. Like he's basically sympathizing or empathizing with their.
Yeah, this is just one video, but like this is just like the rhetoric where it's just like we shouldn't like the president shouldn't be concerning himself with a minority group of people. Like
Why?
I feel like
he should be
because
concerning
that's-
himself with
he-
every group of people, right? He's the president of the United
Yeah,
States.
but he's pandering at this point. I feel like it was pandering. Like
Okay,
you're trying to like show
it-
you're so open that you're gonna let this be like the norm now, and I don't think that's
The norm
this
is saying like, hey, we accept you guys for being you.
but it's not the norm. It's
How is that not the
That's
norm?
why, because the norm is what's normal. What's normal is not that. That's why they're a minority, right? That's why you're a minority because it's not normal. If it was normal, everyone would be doing this, right? That's normal.
No, that's
So,
not
like,
necessarily
if you're-
true. If something was like normalized, that doesn't mean everybody's going to be doing it, right?
No, but
Like just
yeah,
because
that's-
smoking
so
is
why are we
normalized doesn't mean
normalizing
everybody
it?
is doing it, right?
But we're not normalizing smoking. Smoking
But it is
just something that
normalized,
people do,
right?
But it's not a minority thing.
I think the minority of
Smoking is-
people it probably is a minority of people that smoke out of the total population.
Oh, so then why why isn't the president pandering smoking then? If it's just so normal, like how normal it is being transgender and gay, like it's so normal. Like obviously it's not normal. They're trying to pander.
Well, people aren't treated
make
like
it
it's normal, right? Which is part of the issue.
Of course, because it's not normal, and it's never gonna be normal, and that's okay. I feel like it should
Is
be okay
being
to not be
gay
normal.
normal?
No, it's not.
How is that not
in the sense
normal?
of- okay, to be gay, what is the percentage of people who are gay in the world?
I don't know.
It's probably a small percent, right? You'd imagine. compared to
Probably,
everyone
yeah.
else.
Probably an incredibly small
So-
percentage, yes.
So a normal person that's not gay is just straight. They do regular stuff. You're not gay, right? So that's normal. Little different would be gay. Okay, you're different. It's like it's okay to be different though. Like I feel like people have a problem with feeling different.
Yeah, but it's funny,
Like,
those
I
aren't like mutually exclusive terms though, right? Like someone can be different but also be normal.
Sure, but
Yeah.
that's now it's like what degree are we talking about being normal? Like I think
Accepted.
when you're gay, you're not normal. Like sure, but
Like not
it's accepted to be
discriminated.
gay, though.
Not
And
like
I don't discriminate. I'm not someone who I have worked with someone who's gay. He's cool as fuck. Like I like gay people.
Sure, but in the
when
statement that you brought up by Joe Biden, like the one video that you're
Yeah.
showing me, like in that he's explicitly saying like in these territories they are discriminating against trans people, and I want you to know that
And-
despite that, like we accept you, like we
of course,
appreciate you,
of course.
like
Maybe that video wasn't the exact example that I needed because I just pulled something up. But I just feel like in general, when they start trying to normalize things that are like not normal or like kind of out of the norm, especially when it's transgender stuff, I think that's where they lost me completely. So
But
like,
why is that
that's
the
probably-
point where they lost you completely? Like, if you have this criticism for Joe Biden where you're saying he's attempting to normalize this behavior that is abnormal, and I look at his statement, and it's a very milquetoast statement, whereas on the
No, that
opposite
one
side, the
was.
one that you
That one
identify
was.
with more now is the figurehead of the administration, and by extension, our country. Like, he's making it infinitely more
And I
inflammatory
agree
and anti.
with you, bro. Like,
But then
I
what?
agree.
If you agree, then I don't understand why you have this much this much heat for such a mundane, like milquetoast statement that Joe Biden made, but none of that for
No,
any of
no.
the stuff
It's-
regarding Donald Trump, right?
This one statement that I pulled up was just an example of like the rhetoric of what that was going on. This wasn't
Mm-hmm.
like an end all be all. This is why. This is just part of all of the things that they were saying and doing that pushed me away from the party. Like I understand. Like I'm not right now the biggest Republican in the world where I'm gonna stand behind or in front of Donald Trump. He's the best. He's doing everything right. Like
Yeah, but
we
he's done
need-
things
no.
infinitely worse by your own
But that's-
standard.
But every president has done fucked up shit.
No,
Sure.
no.
Let's take out.
This is incredibly
You know
more
what?
fucked up. Like I don't understand the
Okay, but
equating these.
Okay, so like this whole conversation is about what now? Let's just get down to the nitty gritty of it because now we're just talking about different subjects and stuff. So like,
Well, right now I'm trying to
you
figure
want
out like
me
your
to-
foundational beliefs, but it feels like when you're giving me these foundational beliefs or these like
I'm not.
these
I'm not
virtues.
a Democrat.
Sure, I
I'm not a
understand you're not a Democrat, but I'm saying by your own
more
virtues.
right-leaning.
Yeah, but I'm saying by your own virtues that you're providing, that it feels as if you either are incorrectly identifying those virtues that you proclaim to care about, or like they just don't really matter that much.
What are the virtues that I proclaim to care about?
Yeah, sure. Whenever you're talking about Joe Biden and his rhetoric during that time that pushed you away, right? It sounds like you're saying the way in which this rhetoric is being misused, that's part of your massive frustration because it leads to social disorder or like this chaos or whatever else. But whenever I can point to the direct example on the right, it feels like you don't have that heat anymore. It's just
No,
like,
but
oh, well,
I
all
agree
presidents
with you,
kind of do things that are like kind of shitty. You,
No, I
you
agree
can
with
say
you.
you agree, but then you equate these two, but then only give heat to Joe Biden or Democrats.
Okay, so let's put aside right now the rhetoric we have for Joe Biden. What's the rhetoric I should have for the Republican Party or for Trump? Just get a couple of one or two things just so I can clearly understand what I should be concerned about.
Yeah, I would probably imagine you can say something to the effect that they are fundamentally unconstitutional. They have no regard for the Constitution or for civil liberties. That they don't have any of the interest for people that they proclaim to have interest for on the campaign trail repeatedly over and over and over again. You see that kind of worn away as time goes on in this administration. We're 1 year in now, 3 left. And there's been some incredibly fuck shit that's happened, even more so than you've ever seen in any Democratic presidency ever. And
So
I'll be fair, any Republican presidency whatsoever.
So besides the ICE stuff, that obviously is probably the constitutional stuff that you're worried about, what are the other things, like specifically?
Yeah, having the president that is personally trying to control the Federal Reserve is incredibly fucked. He has no authority or capability to interact with that whatsoever, and the fact that he's like trying so hard to do that to the extent that he is incredibly fucked. His attacks on freedom of speech repeatedly over and over and over again for
How so?
incredibly petty reasons, I would say, is
What were his attacks on free speech?
yeah, whenever he's personally suing Ann Seltzer, the one who did the Iowa poll and projected that Kamala Harris was the one that was leading that poll, when he's suing her because he didn't like the results of it, I would say that
What were the results of the suing? Did the suing just stop? Did he go to court? What was the results of that?
well, the fact that the suing exists is incredibly disgusting.
And he sued over the fact that he believes that the voting was fraud.
No, not that the voting was fraud. That Ann Seltzer was just incorrect in her projection.
I mean, that's fucking stupid. I agree. That's fucking dumb.
It's
So, like, I'm not gonna
but it's
agree
not
with
just
these
dumb
things.
though, right? Like that.
I mean, but that there's how many other stupid things can we bring up on other situations that have happened before? Like this
With
is
other
just
presidents,
politics, right?
right?
Yeah,
Yeah, that doesn't exist. You can't find one.
it doesn't exist.
I promise
But
you.
Trump's
Can't.
the anomaly.
Yes.
Trump's
Do you
fucking
disagree-
crazy, bro.
Do you disagree with
I mean,
that?
I'm not gonna disagree because I don't know. I don't know. I can't disagree. I can't agree because I don't fucking know. But if you're gonna say that you know, then I can't discredit you. So you're probably right. Trump is probably doing shit that no other president has done. It's probably not good. But
Like the crypto shit, you would say is kind of gross, right?
I mean, like how so? What do you mean?
The president of the United States.
The Trump coin.
What do you mean?
Are you talking about the Trump coin?
Yes.
Like the what he's done with. I mean, fuck. Why isn't he in trouble for it? That's what I think.
Because
If
whenever he
was
got
able to do
into
it-
wait, what would be an answer here that would sway your opinion as to like saying that this is a disgusting behavior that we should not like expect from our leaders?
what could you say that would sway my belief?
Yeah,
I
that
don't
would make
know.
you go
I mean-
from like yeah, like what do we do about it, or like what's so bad about it?
I know it was fucked up because I'm into crypto. I'm a crypto bro. I used to fuck with crypto a lot. So for him to drop that coin and kind of scam everybody, it just shows how fucking like free it is to be able to do shit like this. Because if he can do it and fucking get away with it and then become president, like there just needs to be more laws around this shit. I thought it was fucking gross. I agree with you. I didn't get in on it, unfortunately, but
Okay, but if
Yeah,
he's the
I mean,
president of the United States and he is one that is like by extension the one that is controlling the policy around crypto and then eliminates the policies that are around crypto, how do you reconcile like when you say like how is he being legally held accountable and he's
won't be.
not?
That's the thing.
Yeah, because he's the one that's
yeah.
destroying the structures that
mean-
are capable of holding him legally accountable.
But before that even happened, there was no structure for that. That's the problem. That's why he was even able to do that bullshit, because there was no structure to get people in trouble for doing that type of shit. So, like, I guess that's just my information on that type of shit. Like, the only reason he was able to launch the coin, do the thing that he did, because the laws around what he was doing let him do that. And unfortunately, I think that garnered him a lot more attention and publicity, like on the good side for his like benefit. That, like, it was fucked up. It was wrong. He shouldn't have did it. But that just shows like the state of like America right now. Like our president or someone who's running for presidency can actually do some dumbass shit like that, still get elected.
And then also like receive, or at least at the very least have the, like if one of your issues is like the embezzlement or the money that is like exiting the country, then I would imagine you would see like an issue with the
Yeah.
capability of anonymous donations to the extent of however much other people are willing to donate. Like you would probably see that as like being,
I agree with all that shit. All the money that comes into politics is fucked up on both sides. Any money that, I mean, he's already a fucking rich dude, so
so he's okay to do it.
no, not that he's okay to do it, but even without it, he could have had money to like campaign or whatever. But obviously, that's not how it happened, right? I'm not saying it was like it's on a benefit for Donald Trump because he had money. I'm just saying like all of it's fucked up. All of the politicians are fucked up in some way. They're all bought left or right, like Democrat or Republican. They're all in it for some fucked up like benefit. I don't believe anything's positive in when you start talking about federal governments, Democratic Party, Republican Party. I think they're all out there just to like benefit themselves in some sort of way.
Sure, but if they're all out there for that, then why do you have like a particular disdain for the left if you're going to say that they all do the same thing?
Because then it cuts down to just like the basis of it. Because now it's like I personally don't care too much about the right, but if I could sit here and hear some shit that annoys me and I just have to listen to it, that type of shit pushes me to the left too. Like all these obnoxious people having their opinions about things. Like I'm not the type of person to be out in the streets of protesting, but if I'm going out in the streets and now I'm being like obstructed by people trying to protest, that pisses me off and annoys me. Like, so now I'll have an opinion that'll be against your opinion because now this is what I believe, and before I wouldn't have said anything. So it's like if people want to have a voice, I'm gonna have a voice too on my opinions, just like you're allowed to have a voice. Right?
Sure, but it's going beyond like just having a voice. If you're switching your political alignment based on the annoyance of like some people that are like protesting
I
or
believe
expressing,
it's all stupid. I could be left and vote left, and it's not going to change anything, in my mind.
okay, if there's like two people that come up to me, and one's like a 10-year-old and they like push me, they shove me, okay, and the other person is a 30-year-old, and they take a 9mm out and then shoot me in my knees, both of my knees, okay. If I say, oh well, I can't really like, I don't know, like the 10-year-old kind of pissed me off here. They kept asking me like for a toy at McDonald's or whatever. Like that kind of really annoyed me. This other guy shot me in the knee. So it's like they both kind of pissed me off at the end of the day. It's like, would your reaction be like, oh, okay, that's fair? Or would you be like, okay, well, this guy shot you in the fucking knee, or sorry, both knees.
Of course.
Okay. That's kind of how it feels when I'm saying like, I understand there's a criticism for all sides or whatever, but there's this one in particular that is fundamentally just way more disgusting, way more deplorable, but it still feels like you're equating the two as if they are the same when you haven't seen any of this behavior ever in history, from my understanding. Even with Republican presidents, you don't see this level.
So you're saying I should be against the Republican Party? I should be against Donald Trump? I should be
as they exist now? Yes.
Okay. That's just. It's all really opinion based then. You see all these things that you don't like, and that's why you don't like him, right?
Well, I don't like it because it goes against American values and the Constitution. Things that the Republicans proclaim to care about more than Democrats.
Why do you think he got voted in, I guess?
You said why?
Yeah, why do you think that he got voted in?
Probably a combination of factors. I would probably say like the largest one being like the effects that people were still feeling from the recovery of the COVID stuff, whenever inflation was like much higher at that time. Just generally like economic things. I think people just kind of like feel the pain.
Do you think that anything that I said about the rhetoric that they were talking about during the Biden administration had anything to do with it?
No.
No?
No, he was the most like president for everybody president that could possibly ever exist. But
so you liked Biden?
Yes.
Towards the end and everything. Like he was good even towards the last days when he didn't even be in office.
Yep.
That man was unable to speak.
What about Donald Trump? When does he ever speak? That isn't like the same like quote that he's repeated over and over and over.
Let's let Donald Trump be Donald Trump. Let's talk about Biden still. What
okay, we can talk about Biden, but I just want to make it clear that these same criticisms that you're about to have are going to apply infinitely more to Donald Trump. But it's not going to show up as much because Donald Trump is a stumbling buffoon who has never been educated or politically savvy in his life. And so it doesn't look nearly as bad whenever like your early onset dementia, as you would probably say with like Joe Biden, right?
Joe Biden had early onset dementia, and they act like he didn't. They were trying to act like he was sharp as a needle. They were saying that all over the news. You could literally pull up a video from YouTube. Every news source, oh, he's sharp as a needle. Everyone's saying the same shit. They're trying to make you believe that this man was sharp as a needle. This man was not, but that's what you liked. That's what the Democratic Party liked when it was obvious that he was like going out the door. So like I don't understand how that was even like something that was okay. Like why are you putting a man who's like having dementia problems, putting him up on the podium to speak and then trying to act like it's not happening?
Well, because like, the Republicans have been doing it for the past 8 years, right?
What?
Yes.
What do you mean?
With Donald
Trump. The
Trump.
Republicans were putting a dementia-ridden man on a podium? No.
Yes. For one, dementia was speculated. I don't even know if that's been like confirmed or anything whatsoever.
Okay, let's not say dementia.
For two, I don't know if I've seen anybody talking about how sharp Joe Biden is. And I would be probably pretty surprised if you have either, because my suspicion is that you heard that from somebody where the Democrats were talking about it being like him being so sharp. But I don't think I see even the major Democrat, like the Democrats are the ones that like basically kicked him out of the run. So it's like, why are they saying it in one hand, but then like, or in one breath, but then in the other breath, they were telling him like, hey, fuck off. Like we need someone who's more.
They realized that they realized that he couldn't go on the podium and speak anymore. Like they had to take him off. The dude was like declining so fast that it was happening in front of our eyes. Like they had to do that. And then that was a slap in the face to the Democrats. I think that's another reason why they lost. You just put Kamala in there, or Kamala, whatever, how you say her name. Like Kamala gets put in everyone's face, and you had to either like her or not because there was no other option. So that was a big reason why.
Yeah, there's no other option because it's 104 days until the election cycle, and if she wanted the capability of like using the Democrats, was it the war chest or treasure or whatever the fuck it's called, like the funds to be able to campaign, like then she had to be the one. And not only that, but I think nearly every single delegate in the Democratic Party backed Kamala. Like they were the ones that elected her and put her forward. So it's like she was like a popular figure within the Democratic Party to put forward.
I feel like a lot of people kind of like lost hope at that point.
Sure, but why is that? Real quick, because it feels like it's such a, we're going down like this there's like a Republican like MAGA narrative that has like taken stronghold, okay, over all of this, or a stranglehold over all this, where it's like there is so much criticism and flack for Kamala Harris, where she is being put forward by the Democratic delegates that almost unanimously backed her. But there's no flack for Donald Trump, who never participated in any of the primaries for the Republican Party, but he's still put forward. But there's no criticism for that, right?
Hey, I'd criticize it if I knew more about it, but like I said, I'm really not too political when it comes into like the deep part of it all. But I just see like, you know, what happens on the news and what I hear about. But it was a fiasco. That whole election was fucking crazy to see how they had, you know, Biden on for so long, decided last minute to pull him. And then we get Kamala that unfortunately lost. And then, you know, you're saying Trump he wasn't even on any of the primaries. It's just like, I just feel like the whole thing's just a joke. Like whoever won, it's not going to make any big change in America.
Well, it is kind of making a big change. Like we're all hated by every single country at the moment. Like Donald Trump is unilaterally imposing tariffs on every single country for seemingly no reason, where the taxpayers of the United States are the ones that are going to have to like to pay out for what those tariffs are essentially. Some of them aren't even put forward; they're reversed because vibes, I guess. The immigration shit's incredibly fucked. If like budgeting or like spending or whatever is like any concern whatsoever, like it has been like proclaimed to be by the Republicans for years and years and years. Like Donald Trump had passed the quote unquote like the big beautiful bill, which is like hundreds of billions of dollars, maybe even trillions over the next few years. Like it's massive spending, and it's a massive increase in like the ICE budget, and none of the concerns that are like listed ever by Republicans are ever like carried through with this. Like it's uniquely a uniquely bad thing.
I believe you.
Sure, but sorry, go on.
No, I'm just saying, like, I believe you. I believe that either party, Republican, Democrats, probably have a lot of things they say they're going to do and then don't do and then do other things. It's just like it's literally a game of charades in my mind. Like, oh, we're going to care about this problem, and then people care. Like, all right, we're winning, but at the end of the day, we're like, my concerns are like the money problem, embezzlement. Where is all of our money going? Why are we in debt trillions of dollars? Like, but we don't worry about those problems. We care about like I said, the shit that's in front of our faces.
Yeah, then I guess like why back the people that exacerbate that problem?
And I try, like, the only reason I'm doing this fucking MAGA shit is because, like I said, there's opinions that I don't agree with, and I'd rather be on the opposite end of them, and because I have an opinion too. And I'm not going to say I'm standing behind Donald Trump, I'm voting for Donald Trump, but I have an opinion, and I want to be able to voice it. And if this had upset you, because this is my freedom of speech, that's a problem. Like, should I be pissed off because you don't believe something, or because you believe something? Should I be calling you a piece of shit, or calling you like? It's just I feel like it's just hypocrisy.
What's hypocritical?
How people want to be so like the left, like, oh, we're these peaceful people. We want to be like all inclusive, but if someone doesn't agree with us, we fucking hate you. I don't like that.
Well, I've never claimed to be like a peaceful person.
Not you. Not you.
But I also like combative, like argumentative discussions.
Sure. I try my best not to argue at all anymore. Like, this is a peaceful discussion, and I'd rather have this than name calling or like just degenerate shit, because I just don't partake in that at all. I'll have my opinions on things, but I'm not going to sit here and throw like insults at anybody.
Sure.
guess.
To go back to like what I was saying before, where it seems like you proclaim these values, but then when those values aren't really followed through with on the side that you currently align more with now, when those values aren't like carried forward, it seems like there's no regard for that. Like if you're saying like you don't like the hypocrisy of the left, but then when the right is like incredibly hypocritical every step of the way, then it feels like where's the heat for that?
What is the right hypocritical on?
The budget, the immigrant stuff, the Epstein stuff.
The Epstein stuff, I agree. That shit needs to be fucking released. We need to know everything in there. I want to know everything. Donald Trump fucked some shit up. Let's get him out then. Like, honestly, all that shit is more important than everything else going on. Like, that's a good point, though. Honestly. But like, so like the immigration stuff, what is the right hypocritical on when it comes to immigration?
Yeah, I don't think that they really think that it's that big of a deal. I don't think that they. I think they do, but I don't believe they do. If they did, then they would have passed legislation to do anything about the border whatsoever. But there's no legislation.
So you don't think that the ICE stuff is like them being serious about the immigration?
I think the ICE stuff is being used as a way to like weaponize against states that Donald Trump doesn't like you see with Minnesota.
Okay, I mean that's a good perspective. It's like being weaponized because they're the sanctuary states.
Well, not only that, but also like Governor Walz was like Harris's VP in the last election, and has like spoken out against Trump. So it seems like a vindictive like way to actually use what is essentially being used as a personal military for Donald Trump.
I agree that it could be more so as in like, yeah, maybe Minnesota and those places are getting the brunt of it, but at the same time, like you said, this governor that was there isn't telling his police to help the ICE agents, and that's why these ICE agents are out there by themselves. And you see in other states where the police are actually supporting the agents, we're not having these situations happen.
Well,
so it's
for one, the states aren't obligated to assist federal agents.
Sure, no, I understand.
And for two, where's the immigration policy?
I mean, what do you mean the immigrant? They're taking out people who are illegal immigrants.
But that's not policy.
They're not. It's not policy, but it's federal law.
Sure, but I'm saying like if they care about the issue of immigration and the border as it currently exists, then why hasn't there been any legislation proposed through Congress, signed off through Congress, and then signed off by the president to enact?
Maybe they're feeling that this ICE shit is like gonna do enough, and they're not trying to do anything else. I don't know. I wouldn't. I think that they're probably putting all their eggs in one basket with the ICE shit, and they're seeing what would happen during this first year. And it doesn't look like it's going so well, apparently, in some areas. But yeah, I guess it is a good point to point out that why aren't they making immigration legislation for the borders and stuff? But I guess that's like I said, they might be putting all their eggs in one basket with the ICE stuff.
Well, they had like several opportunities to at the end of Biden's administration, where there was like bipartisan support, like both sides were supporting pieces of legislation that were put on the table and authored by a Republican legislator. And then you had Democrats that were willing to sign off on it so that they could get more funding to the border, to where they could put more immigration judges in there to seek through or to sort through the cases of asylum seekers, which is a part of a huge issue that's been going on. Like there's like so much stuff that was like willing to be granted by both the Democrats and the Republicans. And then Donald Trump personally calls on the people voting on this and then tells them to shoot it down because he wants the border to remain unstable so that he can use it as a political point through the election. But it's like he shot that down.
That's political bullshit. Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. That shouldn't have happened.
But it's like, unique to this, is my point. Yeah. Is like he shoots it down and then proposes no legislation. So now the border, like, we're essentially closed down because of like an executive order, essentially, by a declaration of the president, which can be undeclared by the next like Democrat president. So it's like, say that happens, there's still no solution for the border or border reformation or policy reformation. Is like
But hasn't the border been more secure though? Hasn't the border crossings gone down? Like, haven't they done more over there?
From my understanding, it does seem like the border crossings are down, but it's because Trump is invoking presidential powers improperly. It is what I would say. So there's no official.
Okay, so he's done stuff. It just wasn't legislative powers or gone through that. So he just did something without it being done through the legislation, and you'd say it's improper use.
Yeah, I would say it's improper and it's done without the legislation. And the emphasis I'm putting on it is like that's the meme about like executive orders. If someone places an executive order, the next president can come in and say, "Hey, I'm going to take this
Yeah.
executive order away." And there's like fuck all that's like done. But it's like there's no comprehensive legislation for the border. So it's like,
No,
yeah, Trump gets out. There's no more funding. There's no more judges. There's no more like there's no way to sort through any of this stuff. And the potential for abuse just happens again. And it's just kicked down the line and never really
That's
addressed
how it
by
always.
Republicans.
Yeah, it's like, and that's for the next president. Basically, it's how it always goes. If the problem's not fixed, it's on your fucking plate now.
What
Shit could be done better.
I don't think that's like how it always goes though. Is like this is like I don't think that there has been ever any point in history where you have the president directly calling on to people to tell them, hey, shoot this down. Sorry, not the president. He wasn't the president at the time.
Yeah,
he was about to run. Yeah, and he's telling them, hey, shoot this down because I want to use this to get elected again. Like, if they're so concerned about the border and all these like murderers and rapists and pedophiles and blah 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 like coming into the country, then I feel like that would be a huge goal set forward by someone that states this over and over and over again. But it doesn't seem like there's any concern.
Well, like you said, he probably used it as something to run on.
Yeah.
This is going to be a political point we're running on, and we're going to use it. Oh, it's shitty. It just shows how shitty he is. Like, I'll never back Donald Trump at all. But at the same time, it's like, this is what we have right now. What are we going to do about it? Like, protesting in the streets and going out and getting arrested and fucking with federal agents isn't going to change that. Just going to catch you a charge now you're going to have to deal with.
Well, it could change that though, right? Like you see ICE being taken out of Minnesota, I'm pretty sure, right? Or maybe not out of Minnesota, but it's like the replacement of the leaders. Like you see actual stuff being like affected by change.
Yeah, but look what had to happen. 2 people got, basically murdered to have some sort of minute change where the agents are still going to be there. Like, maybe they're not going to be there at the rate that they were, but it's not going to stop what's happening is what I'm trying to say. Like, maybe 10 more people might get killed and then maybe something more drastic will happen. I just don't think that's necessary.
Yeah, and I don't think that people are necessarily, I don't think even Democrats are necessarily like expecting all of ICE to get out of there or all of the immigration stuff to be like, to stop being enforced. Like the majority of Democrats, and I mean like Democrats as in like people registered and vote and et cetera, under the Democratic like wing, like the majority of these people do want like borders and they do want bad people taken out of the country or people that don't belong in the country to be taken out. But it's like the way that it's done is just rammed through. It's incredibly improper, incredibly unconstitutional, incredibly disgusting. And you just see like the people on just on the right, just like celebrating it or talking about how silly haha it is. Or yeah, it's just like, that's like the biggest frustration I think is.
What would you think would be the better way to go about doing what Donald Trump or the ICE is doing? How could ICE agents better do their job and not be upsetting people? Like, how could you go about taking people out of this country illegally, who came in this country illegally, without upsetting people? Because a lot of the people who are protesting this think they should be here regardless. They think they're allowed to be here. Oh, they crossed the border illegally. They're here. They're working, person of our community. They're allowed to be here. That's I think something we need to break as well. Like, sure, maybe they're good people while they're here, but how they got here was why they're getting taken away. And people don't want that. And I think that's a problem.
Yeah.
You need to understand that if you came here illegally, regardless of what happened, you have to like go through the process to come legally, And I think people just don't want that at all. And that's why people are out there protesting.
I think it's very rare that you do see people that don't want that at all. The big contention is that there's like little to no structure or any regard for the way that the ICE agents are acting. Like whenever you see those shootings happen, you see the president and you see the vice president and you see the head of the DHS and the head of ICE and all of these people that go down more and more and more of the Republican administration, where they are championing the people who shot these people like 5 minutes after the shooting happens or is like publicized on social media. Like there's no investigation that's being done into it. It's just immediate justification, calling these other people terrorists, calling them scum, calling them radical leftists without any information whatsoever. Like that would be one way, is by not commenting on it and having like actual investigations being done into like things that are being like improperly carried out. Not just targeting random fucking communities and then picking up random people based off of their appearance.
How random do you think it is though, honestly? Like, you think that these agents are just showing up in towns that they believe there to be illegals and just going anywhere they want, or do you think they have no credible information at all and they're just doing this just on a whim?
Generally, no. Yeah.
I think that there has to be some sort of information for them to be anywhere. Like, you're gonna go somewhere where there's known illegals. Like, okay, let's say, like, how do they know these illegals are there? They probably can find out through businesses. Who did you hire? Like, there has to be some sort of prior information for them to even be in a certain area, is what I believe. But I could be wrong.
Yeah, I think that there are definitely like segments or portions of ICE that do that, but then you also see like the portions of ICE that are going into like these neighborhoods and then just like knocking on people's doors, going like house by house doing that. So it doesn't necessarily have to be somebody that is basing their information off of like prior knowledge of whoever the suspect might be in that case. And then also the you have Tom Bowman, or whatever the fuck his name is, the person that's like the designated like quote unquote border czar. I don't think that's like an official title, but like you have this person that is saying like, yeah, you can actually justify targeting people based on their race. And it's
that's
like,
fucked. That's fucked. I
Yeah,
mean, but
so
at
it's
the
like
same time, if he's able to say that and he's someone in that power, is he saying that off of knowledge or is he just saying it out of his ass? That's the thing, because if he's the border czar, maybe they have the rights, the legal limits, the federal, these ICE agents might have because people even are asking, oh, show me a warrant. An ICE agent doesn't have to show you a warrant. They show the warrants to the police chief. That's who they show warrants to. So people are kind of uninformed when they're out in the streets saying you need to show me a warrant for what you're doing. So obviously these agents have higher power than the average person even understands. Like, maybe they do have the authority to just say, hey, like, are you this person? Yes or no? Even though that's like Gestapo Nazi shit. But it's not. We're not just asking every Mexican. We're asking every person of color because there could be an illegal person there. And if you're illegal, it should be simple to be like, here's my ID. Even though I'm not saying that's right. They shouldn't be able to do that, but maybe that is within their powers because they're a federal agency. Like, the FBI has higher powers to do a lot of different shit. Not saying it should be right. But it's not like they're coming here just saying, oh, you're Mexican, we're taking you out. We're saying, hey, are you a legal citizen here? Are you a U.S. citizen? Are you not? Or you are? And then they decide from there. So, like, I'm not trying to justify it. It might be within their powers, even if the Constitution says otherwise.
well, if the Constitution says otherwise, then like explicitly, like they would not be able to do that.
And I think,
which is why you see a lot of the court stuff being contested.
I see a lot of I feel like the reason that they might be even able to do this stuff is because they're considered non-citizens. So if you catch a non-citizen, then you have the rights to do whatever the ICE has the rights to do to them, right? Like, if you're in this country legally, do you have the rights of an American citizen?
Yeah, you have the rights that are afforded under the Constitution, even if you are here. Even if you're just a person that exists, there's a distinction in the Constitution between citizens and persons. And whenever they are, whenever you read through the amendments and they reference persons that are like within the jurisdiction of the United States, it's like that applies broadly to the country of the United States.
So basically, these illegal immigrants, or the people who are here illegally, are afforded the rights of an American citizen, so they should have due process.
Yeah.
Oh, so then there must be something with that then, because they're illegal citizens, and then ICE's immigration, they're doing something to circumvent that, because why are these people just getting picked up and it's completely fine?
Well, it's not completely fine, which is why you have like injunctions being placed onto the federal government by courts saying like, hey, you can't do this, like you need to return these people, you need to release these people, or at the very least you need to give a justification as to why you took this person. That's why you see so many court cases being brought to even the Supreme Court, not only like federal courts. That's why you see it being contested so often, is because there's so much like...
Has there been anything that's been like won to where these people had to be brought back, or it got justified by the law in that way? Has that happened yet?
Yeah, it's happened several times, and it's happened with the Abrego Garcia case, if you remember that, in the beginning of the administration.
I don't remember that. What happened with that?
He was the immigrant in Maryland that was taken to that El Salvadoran prison or whatever the fuck. Was it? Yeah, El Salvador. Yeah, and then he had a withholding of deportation, meaning that like he was ordered by an immigration judge to like stay in Maryland, and that he couldn't be deported back to El Salvador because he had given a valid concern / like he had exemplified a risk to his life or his persons from the place that he came from. So he had a withholding of deportation and wasn't supposed to go back to El Salvador, and then he gets deported, back to El Salvador into a prison.
So fucked up. Oh
Yeah.
my god.
And then they brought him
That's
back
fucked up.
after the Supreme Court, or was it the Supreme Court? Basically ruled like, hey, you had to bring this guy back. They brought him back, but then they brought him back to try and charge him with other things.
It's fucking stupid. It's our fucking whole court system's fucked up. We have a court saying he needs to stay, and then he gets deported still. Like, how is that not? Like, how is he getting picked up with this court order in play, and he still gets deported? Like,
Yeah, that's
how archaic is our court system?
that's part of the problem, because to go back to the immigration bill thing is that there's no funding. There's no additional things that are being set aside to assist in the border chaos. Like, you have to go through all of these cases with the asylum claims, whether or not it is like justified or whatever. Like, you have to respect the process that are set legally. So if someone makes an asylum claim, you have to bring them in, you have to house them here, and you have to sort through the asylum claim. If it's rejected, they get kicked the fuck out.
Yeah.
But that's just being ignored completely. And that's what a lot of people have frustrations with when they're protesting ICE and protesting like the immigration policy generally. And which is why you see a lot of Democrats that are making the passage of the upcoming budget based on like revision of ICE policy and ICE funding. So yeah, I don't know, all that to say is like when you talk about why these students are protesting or getting involved, it's like I would say that they should, because they're
It's
they're
well
impacted.
within their rights. Yeah, if it's well within their rights. If you want to do it, go ahead and do it. My opinion on it is that when I was in school, politics were not a thing. The biggest thing we cared about was when we were voting for a president, and people were like, "Oh, you voting for this guy or that guy?" But we never got into politics as what's happening with gay rights or what's happening in Iran. Like, shit, none of that was a fucking issue in school. And I feel like we're now pushing this down the throats of kids who are in elementary school, and I don't want to say radicalizing them, but basically convincing them that this is right or this is wrong. And there's obviously two sides to the coin. You know, I don't think they should even be politically involved at all.
Yeah.
That's just my opinion. I mean, you know, obviously schools think otherwise. They should be out protesting, but I think it's kind of crazy. If I had a kid and he was out protesting, why are you not learning? Like, you're failing, bro. Get your ass in school. Do something with yourself. Don't be outside talking about something. You're gonna bring it home, and then you're gonna be worried about it. Like, I don't think that's a place for school. That should have a place. Get out of here, kitty. Leave me alone. I don't know, man.
Yeah.
It's good talking to you, though. It's good hearing a more well-informed individual on the subject, because obviously I'm not as informed as you are when it comes to this stuff.
How often are you on?
Me? I mean, I'll hop on and off every once in a while. I don't usually stream. I just decided to hop on and just watch some videos today.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, I'll shoot you a follow.
Yeah,
And
bro.
then if you're ever interested in having a chat in the future,
Yeah, dude.
I'm sending
I'm always
you
down to have a chat.
something to your DM. Feel free to accept or don't accept that. Totally your call. But okay, I'll see you later.
All right, man. Have a good one. Have a good night.